What if I told you there are space missions you remember, but that never happened? You swear you saw the launch. You even remember the name. But when you look it up, there's nothing. No record, no mission, just silence. This is the Mandela Missions. The space flights that live only in our minds, or do they? The Mandela Effect is a strange phenomenon. It's when large groups of people remember the same thing, event, detail, or fact, but it turns out to be completely false. It gets its name from Nelson Mandela. Many people, especially in the 1990s, remembered him dying in prison during the 1980s. They even remembered watching the funeral. Except it never happened. He was released from prison, went on to become president of South Africa, and passed away decades later. Since then, the Mandela Effect has spread to all kinds of things. Movie quotes, logos, childhood memories. But one area that hasn't been explored as much is space. And this is where it gets really strange. Because some people remember space missions that don't exist. The idea of a lost mission isn't new. For centuries, history has been filled with mysterious gaps. Ancient artifacts that disappear. Books that are suddenly absent from the library shelves. Stories of people who once lived but whose names are erased from records. In many ways, space exploration is the same. We rely so heavily on records, photographs, and broadcasts from NASA or other space agencies. Yet, what if these records were altered or forgotten entirely? Take Apollo 18. Most people know that the last official moon mission was Apollo 17 back in 1972. That's where the program ended. But if you ask around, plenty of people will tell you they remember a mission after that. Apollo 18. Some say they watched footage of it. Others say they saw a news report about something going wrong. There was even a movie made in 2011 called Apollo 18. It was presented as found footage, like a horror film showing astronauts discovering something strange on the moon. That movie made many people assume the mission was real. They say they'd heard about Apollo 18 long before the film came out. So where did that memory come from? Apollo 18 was planned at one point, along with Apollo 19 and 20, but they were all cancelled before launch. Some people think the plans, combined with rumors and fiction, created a perfect storm for false memory. But others aren't so sure. They say we went, and we were never told what really happened. Some think that the decision to cancel these missions was a political one. As the US moved into the early 1970s, the public interest in the Apollo program was beginning to wane. With the Vietnam War raging and the US economy struggling, the government decided that the money would be better spent elsewhere. But that decision wasn't just about finances. Some theorists believe that there was something discovered on the moon, something so significant that it would have shifted the course of human history. This idea ties into the many strange lunar theories we see pop up from time to time. Some claim to have seen strange structures on the moon. Observers, from both amateur and professional astronomers, have said they've spotted massive structures that appear to be artificial. But it's not just speculation. What if there's evidence buried in the past of a secret mission that discovered something beyond our understanding? One theory suggests that a hidden Apollo mission was launched in the early 1970s, one that went beyond the public's knowledge. People say they remember seeing footage of astronauts exploring hidden areas of the moon, finding alien artifacts, or encountering strange objects in lunar craters. While NASA and space agencies deny such claims, some people swear they saw footage in the 70s that never made it into the mainstream. Here's the strange part. Apollo 18 was planned at one point, along with Apollo 19 and 20, but they were all cancelled before launch. Some people think the plans, combined with rumors and fiction, created a perfect storm for false memory. But others aren't so sure. They say we went, and we were never told what really happened. Now let's talk about something even stranger. STS-75, also known as the Tether Incident. In 1996, NASA launched a mission that included deploying a 12-mile-long tether into space. The goal was to generate electricity from Earth's magnetic field. But something went wrong. The tether snapped. It drifted away into space. And then the footage gets weird. In the video, you see bright, circular objects drifting near the tether. dozens of them, moving, changing direction. NASA said it was just debris, ice particles, optical illusions, but many people weren't convinced. Engineers, scientists, people who knew the physics. They said the movement didn't make sense. Some viewers claimed the original footage was changed later, cropped, altered, even erased. They remember seeing the full clip in the 90s, and now they can't find it. And this is where the Mandela Missions cross into conspiracy. Because the more people try to explain these strange events, the more confusing they become. Some believe the STS-75 incident was an encounter with something unknown. Some believe it was an extraterrestrial encounter, maybe with intelligent life beyond our planet. As the years have passed, a dedicated group of online investigators continues to delve deeper into these mysteries. They comb through old footage, search through archives, and connect dots that mainstream sources have ignored. The more they dig, the stranger things become. Now let's go even further, to Mars. Some people are absolutely convinced that humans have already been there, not in the future. Not with Elon Musk, but decades ago, in secret. One of the most popular rumors is about something called Project Red Sun, supposedly a joint mission between the US and the Soviet Union in the 1970s. Some say it was kept quiet during the Cold War. Others say it never happened at all. But the people who believe in it remember strange things. News reports that disappeared. Old mission badges they swear they saw as kids. One video even surfaced online showing what appeared to be astronauts on Mars, shot from inside a lander. The footage was shaky, degraded, and filled with static. But some viewers said they'd seen it before, decades earlier, before YouTube even existed. It could all be fiction, but it's strange how many different people from around the world recall the same details. A red planet, a secret mission, an erased history. And then we have the Mars face, a structure that's been the center of controversy ever since NASA's Viking spacecraft captured the image in 1976. The image of a face-like formation on Mars sparked conspiracy theories about ancient civilizations on Mars, or perhaps an alien species that once inhabited the planet. But NASA said it was simply a trick of light and shadow. Yet the image has been etched into the minds of many who are convinced that there's something more to it. The idea that the face was deliberately covered up by the government only adds to the conspiracy. So what's actually happening here? Why do so many of us remember things that never happened? One answer is false memory. Memory isn't like a video recording. It's more like a wiki page. You can edit it. And sometimes other people can too. Our brains are constantly filling in the blanks. If we don't remember something clearly, we make it make sense. And the internet only makes this worse. One person posts a story, another shares it, and soon it becomes part of a shared history that never existed. Movies and books blur the line even further. If you saw a film when you were young and thought it was real, that impression can stick with you for life. The difference between fiction and fact starts to fade, especially when the fiction is presented like a documentary. This brings us to Apollo 20. Officially, Apollo 20 never happened. But there's a series of videos online that claim to be from a secret mission to the far side of the moon. The footage shows astronauts exploring strange structures. Then they find something even stranger. What looks like an alien spacecraft, partially buried. Inside it, a humanoid figure, pale, frozen, mummified. It became known as the Mona Lisa of the Moon. Most people agree it's a hoax. But what's fascinating is how many people say they saw that footage years ago, before it went viral. Some even say they remember seeing parts of it on TV, on grainy late-night specials or VHS documentaries that have since disappeared. Why do some of these Mandela effects feel more real than others? Part of the answer is space itself. Space is mysterious, remote, unreachable for most people. We rely entirely on others to tell us what's out there. So when someone introduces a new story, especially one with photos or footage, we fill in the gaps with belief. And when that belief is reinforced by enough people online, it starts to feel like truth. Especially when it comes wrapped in secrecy, like a mission NASA doesn't talk about. But here's where it gets really unsettling. What if one of these missions isn't fake? What if one of them really happened? What if the memory isn't false but suppressed or forgotten on purpose? In every myth there's a sliver of truth, and in every conspiracy a trace of fact. Maybe the reason we remember these things so vividly is because something about them is real. Maybe not the mission itself, but the idea behind it. The knowledge that something happened and that we were never told the full story. Memory is fragile, but stories are powerful. The Mandela Missions remind us that the line between truth and fiction isn't always clear, and that sometimes the strangest things we remember might not be so strange after all. Have you ever remembered a space mission that doesn't exist? One that you can't find on any official record? Tell us in the comments. Maybe you're not alone. And if you want to keep exploring the unexplained, the forgotten, and the unbelievable, subscribe to the Cosmic Vault, because the truth is out there. And so are the stories we're not supposed to remember.